What's going on, guys? We're back. I'm telling you right out of the gate, this is going to be gnarly, okay? Viewer discretion advised. YouTube person who decides if this is monetizable or not, please don't get me in trouble. This is for educational purposes, okay? But we got 3 videos I found here, all of basically different assaults. It's all small arms, firefighting, clearing trenches, buildings. It's going to be crazy. So, before we do jump into that, I've got a word from a couple of the guys that you guys have only heard me talk about, but here's a little clip from them.
Hello everyone from Different Breed. My name is John from Sweden. This is Patrick from Norway. We've been in Ukraine for 4 years now. We are transitioning into drones and we're taking drone classes right now, and we need your help. We are launching a fundraiser for controllers, ground station cables, antennas and goggles. We're very thankful for all you guys' help up until this point. It means a lot to us. And a lot of the work we've been doing down here wouldn't be possible without you guys' help. So we truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And Slava Ukraini! Героям слава!
All right, guys. So as you just heard, that was John, Patrick. John is, I served with him in Azov's International Battalion. Extremely solid. And I actually recently met Patrick, and like they just mentioned, they've been in this country for a long time. It's going to be hard to find anybody in this country with more experience with what's happening here as far as combat related stuff, evacs, infills, exfills, all that stuff, right? So let's help these guys out, right? There's something cool that happens when you can kind of get in on the ground floor of a brand new drone team like this. And what I mean by that is like when you're able to donate and help them start up, because they're already well on their way to starting. And once they get the ball rolling, we can start getting like, different breed logo on some of the drones, or get your names on some of the drone feeds, right? Where it'll say like, let's use example like Dante, right? Let's say he was one of the donors. It could say Dante here, and it'll be a video of these guys smoking a Russian, right? So there's a lot of cool stuff we could do if you are looking for somewhere, because so many of you guys send money to Ukraine one way or another, right? Typically through larger organizations, and then I see a lot of comments and concern about not knowing where your money's going, right? This is a very, very good way to know that your money is going to something good, and you can get tangible results, because we'll ask John and Patrick for videos and stuff of them working with the funds that you guys helped them be able to work with, right? So, or start work with. So very cool. Please like, share, subscribe, dude. We are smashing to 50K right now. We just hit 40. We're almost at 41. We're moving, man. Obviously some of this footage is already going to be blurred. I'll have to blur out some of it as well. We don't want to get this channel canceled, right? They've just recently, my Instagram got banned. Luckily I was able to appeal it and get it back, but I'm very careful now. Or I'm trying to be more careful, I should say. So bear with me with the blurring. I'm going to try to talk through a lot of it. So I can explain what's happening if it is blurred. So we've got one Ukrainian up here, one Ukrainian in this trench. He just dropped. This Russian, he is KIA. The other one was hit, but he's still able to move. He's now still pushing the single Ukrainian in the trench. It's a 1v3. The third Russian comes out, looks like he just woke up, stepping out of bed. Bam! Smoked right in his face. The Ukrainian was able to take a different angle and pop that dude as he was approaching. Now, this is just all bodies, so a bunch of bodies. So I've got to blur that. But basically, the first Russian was able to drag his buddy into the dugout. Maybe he wasn't KIA immediately. Maybe he was trying to help him, save him. Anyways, I think he realized that his buddy was done. So the first guy tries the guy tries crawling out of the trench and gets shot in the back of his head by the Ukrainian. Boom, done. 1v3. Epic, dude. This is such a good example of, number one, why people hate trench warfare, and number two, why the defenders always have an advantage, especially in this type of combat environment, right? There's like an infantry standard operating procedure, SOP, where you always, if you're assaulting a position, you want to assault with 3 times the amount of of soldiers, that 3 times more than the defending side has. So if there's 5 defenders, the SOP says you should assault with at least 15, right? Ukraine is basically, it's just one of the many standard rules of engagement that Ukraine has canceled out, because you cannot even operate in groups of 15 as infantry or as any ground personnel. But if you're more than a couple handful of people, every drone in that AO is going to swarm your ass, right? So these assaults we're seeing take place, 2 people, 1 person, sometimes 3 people, 4 people. Most common in this, and this is the way we trained, is pairs. You operate in pairs, so you get really, really, really good with one battle buddy, right? And then you guys will operate, and then nearby there'll be another pair, but not close enough that you could both get smoked by one FPV or one artillery shell. Anyways, you don't get the luxury of being able to triple up on the amount of forces that you get to assault a position. That's not a thing anymore. Now it's way more, number one, about luck. Number two, about pre-mission planning, being able to figure out how that trench looks, how that position looks before you're actually boots on the ground moving towards it. And just really, really good small unit tactics, right? Really, really solid work with your battle buddy, and just knowing, and yourself being really well trained in this kind of an environment. So it's completely changed the name of the game as far as assaults go. All right, this one says Ukrainian soldiers in action in the Zaporizhia direction. Video shows room clearing, drone hits, Russian POWs. I clicked through this one briefly and I just saw dead people everywhere. So there's going to be multiple blur spots. Again, we keep all of our uncensored footage in Discord for our paid YouTube members if you're at all interested in that. If not, no worries. Okay, let's go. Also, I'm mute. There's no audio on this one, so I'll put you know, music. You guys seem to have been liking that in the comments, I noticed. So these homemade explosives we've been seeing a lot more of recently. Basically, your standard RGD5s, F1 grenades, they're not enough to do what is needed. But something like that will completely collapse that dugout. One of the first times I started seeing these handmade explosives was Chosen Company. Remember, they would call them non-stops or Red Bulls because they were they look like energy drink cans, but they're heavy as shit too. I've used some in the past. They're very heavy, so it looks like an energy drink can, right? Like a Red Bull, but it's dense. And if you were to try to huck that thing like a regular frag grenade, dude, you'd pop your shoulder out. But from my understanding, it's just plastic explosives smashed in together, so that it's way more destructive than your standard frags. There's definitely a gap in the market that some war company, some battle tech company is going to capitalize on. Yeah, that would be a handheld, basically a non-stop grenade, but something that is widely manufactured, because we're starting to see the holes, the gaps that frag grenades are missing in this kind of a combat environment. So whoever comes up with a really stable, solid, massive explosion in a really small, compact, throwable package, Lockheed Martin, somebody like that's going to come up with something, dude. Actually, it'll probably be a Ukrainian company. Oh, dude was looking the wrong way, bro. Oh, shit. POWs. Okay, so I mean, there were parts of that we have seen before, and I'm aware of that, like this right here. Sweet click back, but this is nuts to me. And this right here, you can see there's three people here. One, two, three. That's probably the most that you would want pushing a position like this. Um, I mean, of course, you would want more, but without drawing too much attention from drones. All right, and then let's watch. This last one is crazy. I've actually never really seen something quite like this. It shows, I don't know where the best place for me to be is. It shows this Ukrainian trench assault from drone perspective and GoPro perspective. Okay, let's watch. So they drop them off, right? Boom. Two of the boys straight in, some of them proned out. Pushing, pushing. It's obviously sped up. I didn't do that. Okay, now you can see how these two guys are working. Remember how I was talking about having a battle buddy that you work really well with? That's these two in the front right now. That's probably why they sprinted straight to that trench. I bet it was their job to be first ones in and start clearing. All the way down here, you got the Russians. How crazy is this, dude? So I mean, they're fighting. That's scary though. When you got a guy way behind him. Somebody asked me this. Oh, it was Preston. Preston Stewart asked me this. He said, "So when there's an assault like this, are the Russians just like shooting past their buddies like this to try to hit the enemy?" And I'm like, "Yes, dude. Like they don't." It's one of those things like, what are you going to do? But there are ways to kind of mitigate this, right? Move into the other side of the trench, whatever. But this kind of combat's so scary. Even on the Ukrainian side down here, you can see they're more kind of in a line like this rather than like this. They're more like this. All right, now we got, dude. This has got to be the point, man. I'm assuming this is after they had cleared some, because they're standing up on top of the trench, which is so sketchy. Now watch how many grenades go into this bunker. That's 2 so far. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, so six frags, and that's just what we saw, right? This is what I'm talking about, with some kind of basically like a thermobaric style frag grenade, which I know there are some out there, but they're kind of, I mean, at least in my experience, they're hard to get your hands on. Something that can suck all the oxygen out of that confined space, right? And then spit it back out with just straight flame, fire, explosion, annihilate that area. Those might be homemade explosives too, because it looked like he like struck a fuse or something on that. This guy's still shooting out though. So sketchy, dude. Nice move. God, but you could see how badly that could have gone. Imagine if, and I'm sure this guy was aware that this was probably an empty position, but just imagine that this connected down here, right? These two holes connected, which they very well could actually. And this guy came around and just happened to be, the Russian happened to be here when the Ukrainian pushed that side. We've seen this multiple times happen too, where they'll push and then from the side, whack. It happened at the beginning to that Russian, that third Russian that pushed at the beginning of this video. Yo, they got a lot of POWs. What? I didn't expect that, dude. That was cool. What unit is that? Can somebody tell me? We got some guys in our Discord that are so good with these chevrons, and I'm usually decent with it, but when it comes to like the 438 separate mechanized division mechanic rifle assault company, I don't know what you know what I mean. All right, that was sick, dude. We can we don't have to drag this on much longer. We are starting a series. Actually, already recorded it. It's from the documentary Winter on Fire, which is all about the protest and revolution in Maidan, which is Freedom Independence Square in the center of Kyiv. Anyways, it's basically how Ukraine started gaining their independence from Russia back in 2014. So we're starting. I'm going to start posting that. But as far as this goes, if you are willing and able to help out the boys, John and Patrick, continue setting up their drone team and being able to get out there and start putting in work, please consider checking out the link in the description. That's all I got. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.